The two lords, Nitai and Gaurachandra, are supremely merciful. They are the essence and the crown jewels of all avatars, and they are the source of absolute bliss. O brother, worship Chaitanya Nitai with unwavering faith, renouncing material enjoyment and drowning yourself in that rasa of worshipping them. Let your lips chant Hari Hari. Just see, dear brother, in all the three worlds, no one bestows mercy like them do. Animals and birds shed tears and stones melt upon hearing narrations of their glories. Lochandas says, since you remain submerged in material enjoyment, the aspiration to take shelter of their lotus feet has not arisen. Thus you suffer the consequences of your own misdeeds, as meted out by Lord Yama. 122.
Did you meet each other?
Yeah. Hari Hari Kabe Muna Koibe Sudina Hari Hari Kabe Muna Koibe Sudina Hari Ho Sri Radha Krishna Soya Premadina Hari Ho Sri Radha Krishna Oh Hari, when will that auspicious day be mine when I will serve Shri Radha Krishna, being controlled by Prema? Accompanied by musical instruments, I will sing sweet melodies. In great bliss, I shall perform songs that glorify the form and qualities of the divine couple. While singing Radhika Govinda, I will weep loudly and my entire body will become soaked by tears from my eyes. O Srila Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswami, O Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, O Sri Jiva Goswami, my life and soul, be merciful to me now. O Lalita and Vishaka, O Sri Dam Subala and other friends in Satyabhav, be merciful to me now. All of you together, please be merciful and let my desires be fulfilled. Narottam Das constantly prays in this way.
Now I didn't want to do it. What do we have?
Anyone? That was Radha, we did Nitai Gauranga Radha Krishna.
We didn't do,
We did it, yeah. No,
Maharashtra or?
which one?
yeah, Maharashtra.
You don't sing it?
And
Oh, I see, that was Radha Krishna together.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Ajnanam timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadai Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah. Yam Pravrajantam Manopetam Apetapetam Dvaipayano Virahaka Tadavajuhava Pureti Tanmayataya Tadavo Manedam Tam Sarva Vedayam Monimanatosmi Bhaktya Aparadalakshay Chittasya Kamari Tarangamadre Kripamanitam Sharanam Prapadam Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavaivasmi Najivami tam vina iti vigyayare tam nayamam charanantike. Kripayati yadi radha vadita sheshabadha kema paravishishtam pushti malayadayore yadi vadati chakinchit smeya sundikashe vijavarvanantya mukti shuktya tadakyam shama sanga shikanda shikara smeya samari manohara radhika rasikama kupanyate swapriya chara kinkarinku pranavata vishavani gandhi srimukabjana sarola sakapada radhika pagatale kutustitim tam bhajami rasikandya shekara samvidaya dashane trinam vibo Prarkaye Rajanayandana Asti Mohan Tavati Gaurava Janma Janmari Madhishwari Priya. If Sri Radha is merciful to me, then unlimited obstacles to my devotion will be removed. There will be nothing superior for me to obtain, because I will have received the accidents of the paths of both Vaidhi and Ragmarg. And if she speaks something while smiling gently, thus revealing the brilliance of the rows of her beautiful pearl-like teeth, then what significance will the oyster of liberation have? O Shyamasundar, O you whose head is adorned with peacock feathers, whose face is graced with a laughing smile, whose merely flute enchants the mind, and who is very expert in relishing rush with Srimati Radhika. O ocean of mercy, please make me a kinkari, maidservant, at the feet of your beloved. You are the Lord of the life of the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and you are like a bee, always eager to taste the nectar of her lotus face. O Rasikendra Shekhar, foremost of those who are Rasik, who are situated at the feet of Srimati Radhika, I worship you. O son of the king of Braj, O all-pervading one, O Mohan, who enchants the minds of all. Taking a piece of straw in my teeth, I pray that your supremely beloved Sri Radha will be my dear worshipful goddess, birth after birth. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad, Astota Sat Shishya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Guru, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Bhajan Goswami Maharaj, and to our grandfather gurus, Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees, and to the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus, who are my Shiksha Gurus, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhu Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Van Maharaj, and Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. How many of you are familiar with Srila Gurudev's translation of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Bhajan Rahasya? How familiar are you?
I mean, I've read it.
You've read it. How long ago?
2 years ago. 2
Hmm?
years ago.
2 years. So you've matured a lot since then.
So,
Are you ready for another reading?
yeah, it's with Shikshastakam, right? And also different parts of the day.
Yeah, I'll explain that for those who are less familiar. So there's lots of 8s. There are 8 chapters in this Bhajan Rahasya. And these chapters correspond to the different stages of bhakti. Like, for example, the 7th chapter is about the beginning of Prema Bhakti. But wait, shouldn't that be the end? Prema Bhakti, unlike the other chapters, has 2 chapters because there's Prem in Vipralambha Bhav, or separation mood, and Prem in meeting mood, Sambhog. But all the others, like the 6th chapter, what would that be? Chapter about Bhav. The 5th chapter would be what? The chapter about Asakti. So the chapters correspond with the different stages of bhakti. They also correspond with the different times of the day of Radha Krishna's Astakaliya Leela. There are 24 hours a day pastimes broken into 8 parts. So therefore, say this 7th chapter would be approximately 8:30 p.m. to 12 o'clock a.m. of their pastimes. And then the next chapter, chapter 8, which is Prem in meeting, would be the time after that. That is midnight to, say, 3:30 in the morning, when they'll get up. And so they correspond with Radha and Krishna's day. They correspond with our development of bhakti. They also correspond with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Like the first chapter would be Hare Krishna. The second chapter would be Hare Krishna, and then Krishna Krishna. The whole thing is really about the holy names, because we gradually advance in becoming free from offenses in chanting the holy name, and come to the various Nam Aparad, Nam Abbas, the clearance stage of chanting, and the stage of pure name, where by chanting the pure name, we experience that the Nam, the name, and Nami, the personalities who possess the name, are the same. Those are only broken up into 3, but there are many stages within that. And how does the name, why don't we taste the name? Because they're not touching our senses. My senses can touch the microphone, it can touch a candy bar, but it can't touch the holy name, because the holy name is transcendental. Even though I think that I'm seeing Radharaman Bihari, I'm not actually seeing them. Even some of my god sisters and I were like circling Gurudev. There's about 5 or 6 of us, and he was standing in the middle. Well, we weren't in the back, we were kind of like surrounding him from the front. And what statement did he make? You're not seeing me. So there's a very nice verse, Atak Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved. You all know that verse? Nabhaved Grahyam Indriyai Sevan Mukhehe Jivado Swayam Eva Sparat Yada. It's a good one to learn. That is the transcendental holy names of Krishna. Name, form, fame, pastimes. Atak Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grayam Indriyai. They can't be grasped by the indriyas or the senses. How can they be grasped? If the holy name descends onto my senses. How does that happen? Sevan Mukhehi Jivado. By service, and service begins with the tongue, by chanting, and by only eating Krishna Prasadam. So the whole book is the gradual development of purity. And so I was thinking either we could read today about Bhav Bhakti, which is the first stage of prem, like the first rays of the sun. The sun hasn't actually come out yet, but its first rays of dawn are coming. Or we could read about the first half of prem in separation. Can I have a show of hands or desires?
First raise?
Huh?
First raise.
What is it?
That's what I was going to
First
say,
raise.
because that's
Raise
very
the wall.
close.
The sun.
So, no help, so,
I'm not in separation.
Yeah,
Huh?
me too.
all right. Okay, so this does not mean our feeling of separation gradually connects us, because this is already on the platform of prem. So it would have to be that we're on the platform of prem, and then we're feeling separation. But actually this is about the associates of Krishna who feel separation from him when he's not there. So first, how each chapter begins, I forgot to mention that there's another 8, and that is the Shikshastakam prayers. So the first chapter would be what? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. And then the second chapter would be
Nam Namakari.
Nam Namakari Bahuta. So that this chapter, which is the beginning of Prem, is the 7th verse of Shikshastakam, which I think you all know, we say it every day. Jugaitam nimashena chaksusa paravashaitam sunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena. And this verse is actually spoken by one Saki to another. I never knew that till this moment. O Saki, in separation from Govinda, even a moment seems like a millennium. Tears pour from my eyes like torrents of rain in the monsoon season, like this season in Miami, and the entire world seems empty. That's going to be for somebody in praying. Like for the gopis, any moment away from Krishna seems like a yuga, millions and billions of years. So now we're going to start the series of separation moods of the gopis. And the first is from Venu Gita. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a series of separation verses from Venu Gita. In Venu Gita, what's happening is the gopis are in their own homes with gopis of their own mood, their closest friends. So they're sitting at home, and just as Sanjaya, by the mercy of his guru, who's his guru? Vyasadeva. He was able to see what was happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra 90 miles away, as though he had a television set in his heart. Similarly, but without the grace of Guru, because the gopis are even the Guru of Krishna, what to speak of everybody else. And I will explain in a minute how they're our gurus with respect to Venu Gita. So the gopis are singing their songs of jealousy, of envy, because they're appreciating. Of course, in this world, envy is a bad thing because you want to put the person down who you think is better than you. You wish they die, disappear from the face of the earth, so that you can automatically look better. But with the gopis, they're condemning their own existence as gopis. Because we're gopis, because we're ladies, we have to be married, we have to stay home, we have to consider the opinion of society, whereas all the more fortunate personalities, like the deer, like the cows, like the calves, like the cowherd boys, like Govardhan Hill, like the flute, they're all more fortunate than us because they get to be with Krishna all day. So how are they our gurus? They want to take birth as these animals or rivers. They want to die and take birth as these other humans or creatures of the forest or trees of the forest. And so what happened is they get so engrossed. You know how, did you ever see, like especially in this neighborhood, there's no one who doesn't have a dog. And they're just like, they're like controlled. The dog's in the lead. And then all they do is pick up the stool of the dog and figure out what to do with it. Sometimes they forget, and then we have to see it. Anyway, do you notice that they kind of start looking like their dog? like a bulldog and a bulldog man. That's from absorption. Similarly, or originally, you could say, the pristine version of that is that the gopis are so absorbed in their mantras. For them it's not a mantra, it's just the pouring out of their heart, that they end up in the place where they're desiring to be. And the place where they're desiring to be, which is the forest with Krishna and all of his friends and animals, the place where they desire to be merges into their hearts and they become one. So Radhika is teaching us that if you say your mantras with full absorption and continually, then you'll also end up there. So I'll read some of the verses that are here in Bhajan Rahasya to show us the separation part of prem. Go, and if you know it, you can sing it along. Gopya kemachadadayam kushalam swabhenum damodara sudam apigopikanam bhunte swayam yarabhasista ridam rasam ristinyo risatriso chumahas tarabo yataryat. What pious activities has this flute performed to relish the nectar of Krishna's lips, which are meant for us gopis? He's drinking all the ras and not even leaving a drop for us. They're imagining this because they drink the ras of Krishna's lips either externally or in their hearts all throughout the day. Saki, upon seeing the good fortune of the Venu, the Jamuna, the Manasi Ganga, and other rivers and ponds, manifest ecstatic symptoms of horripilation, that means hair standing on end, in the form of blossoming lotuses and other flowers. So from the river doesn't come hairs, but comes lotus flowers and other flowers, lilies. And so they all come out because these rivers, which are the mother of the flute drinks from as the bamboo was growing, it was on the shore of the river, and so it was drinking the nectar from her mother. The trees, who are the fathers, shed tears of love. What are the tears? The sap, the honey. They don't see it in ordinary ways. Because one who is a Mahabhagavat, according to Sri Prahlad Maharaj, one who is a Mahabhagavat sees everyone else as having the same kind of love that he has. Just like a lusty person, he'll see a mother and son sitting on a rickshaw, think, oh, that's just another lusty couple, because he's lusty. That's the perverted reflection of the gopis or anyone who's a Mahabhagavat, seeing everyone with the same kind of love that he or she has. So the trees are delighted that such a descendant in their dynasty, because the bamboo is a tree, and then there are the older trees. Just as noble persons are delighted that a Vaishnava has taken birth in their family. That is, if they're pious people. Then, so they're envious of the flute, and then they're also envious of the deer. Dhanyas mamuda gadayo piharinya etat yananda nandana upata vichitravesam Akarnavena ranitam saha krishna ksara pujam dador virachitam pranayavalokai. So gradually, if we can start learning these verses, and then learning the word for word of the verses, so that when you're remembering the verses, you're not just remembering a general translation, but as you come to each word, you're going into it more. Like Danya. What does Danya mean? Huh? Like fortunate. Blessed. Blessed are the dear. And Muda, what does that mean? Muda, you know, foolish, right? So the deer are foolish, but they're more fortunate than us, who have the power of discrimination. And we have to discriminate that this is moral, this is not moral. What would the society say? What if our parents see us? So with the power of discrimination, it's not as fortunate as these foolish deer who just run. O Saki, when Nandanandan's Shyam Sundar, wearing a beautiful multicolored attire, vibrates a sweet melody. So he doesn't always wear yellow. He can always also wear multicolored. Vibrates a sweet melody on his flute. Even the does, who are foolish due to having taken birth in the wombs of ignorant animals, run towards him, along with their husbands. And they have much better husbands than we do, because our husbands, if they would know where we're going, they would lock us in the house, like they did when Krishna played his flute at the beginning of Ras Leela night. Or they would punish us. But these husbands, who are Krishna Sar, they have Krishna as their essence. They just follow their wives, knowing that our wives are more fortunate than us. Let's get fortunate. Let's follow them. And then they look up towards Krishna, and Krishna reciprocates by his loving glance. And there's that loving exchange. And Krishna accepts the foolish animals' loving glance with more affection and appreciation than he accepts the 16 kind of pujari paraphernalia of somebody who doesn't have that kind of love. So they are not merely gazing, Saki, but they are worship him, not just looking at him with their eyes, but they worship him in that way, with crooked sidelong glances from their large lotus-like eyes. And he is accepting their worship with his own loving sidelong glances. The lives of these deers are truly blessed. Saki, though we are gopis of Vrindavan, we're unable to offer ourselves like this because our families harass us. How ironic. Then who else are they envious of? The rivers. Nadyastada tarupadarya Mukunda Gitam Avarta Lakshita Manobhava Bhaganam Vega Alinganasta Gita Morama Bhajaya Murarir Grihananti Pada Jugalam Kamalo Bahara. And then when you really get good at it, then you could sometimes remember them while you're chanting. Of course, the best thing to remember while you're chanting is the names, being fully absorbed in the name, and then automatically the form, the fame, the pastimes, the paraphernalia, the associates reveal themselves. But alas, when we try to do that, when I try to do that, I just wander off into space. And material objects and memories and angers in the space. So for a person like myself, this is giving me at least the kritis. I'm not really remembering this, because if I would remember it, you can't remember something that you haven't experienced. So I can imagine with my own material consciousness what that's going to look like. But it's better than going into material space. So, hearing the song of Krishna's flute, the Jamuna, the Manasi Ganga, and other rivers have become diluted by lust. Their heart's desires for love cause many whirlpools to surface, and they stop flowing, or they flow backwards in these circles. Bringing lotuses as gifts with their arm-like waves. I think you may all remember the Venugit painting. At the bottom there's the river with the hand-like wave. They embrace Madan Mohan and place his lotus feet on their breasts. Then who else are they envious of? They're even envious of Govardhan Hill. Not in a negative way, but they have that jealousy that I wish I could be like that. I want to die and take birth as one stone on Govardhan. Let's find out why. Hantaya Madhurabala Haridasya Varja Yad Rama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramuda Manam Tanoti Tanayos Gunayos Tayorva Pani Asuya Vasa Kandara Kandamulai. O Sakis, this mountain, Govardhan, is the crown jewel of Hari's servants. There's Yudhisthira, who's Haridas, and then there's Haridasavar, that's Uddhav, better, closer than Yudhisthira. And then Haridasavarya, the best of Krishna's servants. Blessed is his fortune by the touch of the lotus feet of our Pran Balav, the Lord of our life, Sri Krishna. And now notice that they're putting in Baladev's name there. Sri Krishna and Baladev Prabhu, who is most pleasing to the eyes. Govardhan is blossoming with delight and supplying crystal clear water, soft grass, wonderful caves, and like I can give Krishna an orange, a fruit, but the orange isn't coming from my body. On the other hand, can you stand up? On the other hand, whatever Govardhan offers is from his own body. The fruits grow from his body. The grasses grow from his body. The rivers grow from his body. Ras Leela is danced on his body. So therefore he is akin to Madhurya Ras, because other than him, the gopis are the only ones that can offer their just plain body. Mother Yasoda can offer the milk from her breast, but you can't just say, here, take my breast, whereas the gopis can. So therefore, the successive rasas get more and more deep with less and less obstacles in the way. So why are they mentioning Baladev? So that nobody would know about their secret love and meetings with Krishna. Govardhan is blossoming with delight and supplying crystal clear water, soft grass, wonderful caves, and varieties of roots. And why does Govardhan manifest as the stone caves? Why? All of these are in Gurudev's purports to these very verses. Because if something is stone, you're not worried about them seeing. If you think you're in a room all by yourself, you think nobody's looking, I'm not embarrassed. But if you thought somebody else was there, you'd be quite embarrassed if you're taking a shower. Even though we cover part of ourselves and never be fully naked if anybody didn't know that. Still, it's embarrassing. So similarly, if the gopis and Krishna are engaged in some intimate pastimes, they would be too shy and the pastime would stop if they thought someone was there. So Govardhan turns himself into stone, so they think that nothing is there, nobody is there, and they can go on happily and peacefully with their intimate pastimes. And they also offer varieties of roots. By thus serving Sri Krishna and Balaram, Yata Rama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramodaha. They're singing. Yata Rama Krishna Charana, their lotus feet, Sparasha Pramodaha. They're touching the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram with all his offerings, Govardhan's offerings. But really, that's hidden because Krishna is also called Ram. Rama Krishna is just Krishna. So, Krishna and Balarama were surrounded by the cowherd boys and cows. He highly honors them. Manum tuno titanayas. He gives them honor by offering all these things. So, verse after verse, we're saying that they want to be one of the creatures. There's one more. Gago pakara nuvanam nayatorudaro venu svanai kalapadais tanu britsasakya aspandanam gatimatam pulakaistarunam niryogapas kritalakshanayorchityam. Osakis were speaking in their house, but the Venu Gita shows that they're in the painting, they're in the forest rather, and they're exchanging loving glances with Krishna. That's what happens when we merge into our mantras. Instead of thinking, I surrender to my mind. Wherever it wants me to go, I go. Rather, by surrendering to the sound and the meanings, if we do that, gradually we'll end up in the forest. And near Yoga Pass, let's find out what that is. Osakis, the elegance and charm of the two brothers, our Shyam Sundar and Gaur Sundar Balaram, are quite unique and wonderful. When Shyam Sundar, together with his cowherd friends, leads the cows from one forest to another by sweetly playing a melody on his Venu, he binds the top of his turban with a near yoga. Sometimes you'll see, especially you'll see in the Venu Gita painting, that he has a rope for binding cows.
Lasso?
Tied in different, interesting,
The lasso?
A lasso? Well, there's two kinds of ropes that he has. One is a lasso and one is for binding their feet so they can't go anywhere. Yeah, let's get there. Okay. He binds the top of his turban with a near yoga rope, which is used for binding the legs of the calves. And from his shoulders, he hangs another rope. Shoulders, from his pitambara, he hangs another rope known as the pas. So he has near yoga, pas. And that's for lassoing, bringing the cows in. Upon seeing, that's, oh, there it is, right? There's the Bengal
There's one rope on here. I don't see the other.
What? Okay, let me see. All right, so going from the back of his head to the front on his right side, under the flowers, would be the rope. And then you can see on his shoulder, on his right shoulder and right arm, he has the pas for lassoing. Upon seeing that sweet, unparalleled beauty and hearing the sound of the Venu, like the beauty of Krishna and the sound emanating from his flute, all moving entities, such as animals, birds, rivers, what to speak of human beings, become inert like stone. And ecstatic symptoms, so the moving beings become like stone, and the non-moving beings, like trees, they start horripilating. What does horripilation means? Their hair is standing on end, shivering. How can I describe, O Saki, the magical sound of that flute? Yeah, Gurudev's purports are incredible, explaining the deeper meanings of the gopis' lament. Then, in the next verse of this Saptama Yam Saran, this is our sadhan, to read and meditate and sing these verses. But it's not that the gopis are in any kind of sadhan, because they're all siddha. Now this is Srimati Radhika. Aidina Dayadranathahe Vajranatha Kadavaloshane Hridayam Tadalokakataram Dayata Brahmyati Kim Karunyaham. O you whose heart is most merciful to the wretched, O Master, O Lord of Mathura, when will I see you again? O beloved Lord of my life, because I cannot see you, my heart has become agitated. What shall I do now? So let's find out if there's a deeper meaning. As the Kaustubha jewel is the topmost of jewels, this verse is the foremost of Ras poetry. And those of you who were there at the class last night, one of the prayers of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami as a Bhav Sadhak is, oh, when by the encouragement of Lalita Devi will Sri Radha teach me how to write and speak beautiful poetry, beautiful poems, and teach me how to do dramas, how to write dramas, and how to speak riddles with many deep meanings, and how to play melodies on the veena. So she's asking, Raghunath Das Goswami is asking, in his Bhav Sadhan of going through inner consciousness where he's thinking he's Rati Manjari and experiencing that, then halfway inner and external where he's weeping and rolling, and then external where he's identifying himself as Raghunath Das Goswami, the eternal associate of Mahaprabhu, making these prayers. When will I get that service again? I've lost it. So Sri Swamini spoke this verse in the state of Divyan Mad, or divine madness, in feeling separation from Krishna when he went to Mathura, when she was deeply aggrieved in separation. And by her mercy, it manifested in the speech of Madhavendra Puri. So as you know, there were only three personalities who understood the meaning of this verse. One is Radharani, of course, one is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and one is Madhavendra Puri. And by his mercy, it's revealed to us by the mercy of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. It's revealed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then, accepting the mood of Sri Radha, Sri Krishna Chandra relished the verse as Gaurasundar. Isn't that interesting? He wanted to relish it. Krishna wanted to relish it. He was already relishing hearing it, but he wanted to relish it more. So he wanted to be in her mood because, as you know, we couldn't understand his mood, her mood when he was Krishna. So then he became Gaurachandra. No fourth person has ever tasted its inner moods. Let's see if we can at least read about it here. Uttering this verse, Mahaprabhu would become overwhelmed by prema and faint. In the madness of love, sometimes he would run here and there. Sometimes he would laugh, and sometimes he would dance. He was unable to utter more than Aidina, 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 due to absorption in ecstatic love. Tears would flow from his eyes, and Satvik, Vyavachari, and other bhavs appeared in his body in a blazing state. There's many states of bhavs, and the most high is called blazing, Sudikta. This is described very mercifully by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in his Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila 4. Madhya-lila 4. Sriman Mahaprabhu, because that's, Madhya-lila 4 is the history of Madhavendra Puri. Sriman Mahaprabhu is the gardener of the desire tree of Krishna Prem. He distributes the fruit of this tree and also relishes them himself. Madhavendra Puri, whose heart was saturated with Krishna Prem, was the very first sprout of this desire tree. He's the first one who sprouted from this tree. From this tree, no, of this tree. Because Madhavendra Puri came before Mahaprabhu. Then Ishwar Puri came, and Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. And then Mahaprabhu came. So Mahaprabhu is the tree, Madhavendra Puri is the sprout that became the tree. The gardener, Mahaprabhu, manifested as the trunk. Previous to Madhavendra Puri part, there was no Rasamayi Upasan, that is, worship in this mood of Madhurya Ras. Of course, there's Jayadev Goswami, but it wasn't like spread to a large number of people. It was kept in his book to gradually come out. Okay, I want to see what she was actually thinking. Sometimes Bhav Sabalya comes in our heart. That is the clashing of many bhavs, in which one bhav suppresses another and becomes prominent, and then bhav shanti, it becomes pacified. So like sometimes I have anger, I have jealousy, I have lamentation, I have greed, like they all clash with each other. That's all a perverted reflection of this. Radha, who is mad in separation, Viraha Unmadini, addressed Krishna in extreme humility. O Krishna, you are very simple-hearted and affectionate. It is you who remove the sorrows of the residents of Braj. So please bestow your mercy upon me. You give mercy to all living entities, thus protecting them from all distress. So why don't you give me mercy in letting me see you? If you don't bestow your mercy on me, your reputation as he who removes the distress of the residents of Braj will be ruined. Only you are my beloved. This is why the word not, meaning master, is used. But really not doesn't, in a deeper sense, not doesn't mean master. It means one who is immersed in loving pastimes. So like Krishna is called Gopinath, Radhanath. That's what it really means. Like Gopi Bhartur, we always learned in the beginning, and good that we did, because we're supposed to see Krishna's majesty before we can understand Krishna's subservience to his mother, to Radha, to the gopis. So, Gopi Bhartu Padakamalalo Dasa Dasanudasa. Everybody knows that verse. I'm not a Brahmin, I'm not a Kshatriya. I'm the servant of the servant of servant of, we learn, he who maintains the gopis. But it's not like that. Bhartu means he who is maintained by the gopis. In the ocean of separation, though, there is a towering wave that represses this feeling of humility and manifests the mood of envy and contrariness due to jealousy. Now Sri Radha addresses Shyamasundar as Mathura Nath, the Lord of Mathura. O Mathura Nath, why would you be merciful to us now? How can you remember us while you're in Mathura, where hundreds of affectionate, beautiful ladies serve you? Surely you have forgotten us milkmaids. Since you are receiving so much honor for the fabulously opulent kings of Mathura, how can you have time to remember us wretched persons? In the company of Mathura's Yadavas, your heart has also become hard. Why would it melt upon seeing the condition of us gopis, who are anguished in separation? Why did she say that the Yadava's heart is hard? Heart is hard. They want to take Krishna away from Nanda Baba and Yashoda and all the residents. They're claiming that Krishna is their son, but he's not. He's Nanda's son. He's Yashoda's son. So therefore, they selfishly lie to have Krishna separated from Nanda. Speaking thus, Sri Radha becomes momentarily stunned, and the Sanchari Bhav of Tanya, or humility, again appears. O beloved, O Shyamasundar, you are more dear to us than our own lives. How do we forget your loving dealings? When we would become tired during the rasa dance, you would wipe away our drops of perspiration with your own pitambra. And if our kumkum stained pitambra, you would lovingly hold it to your heart. When you left us, you said, I'll return. When? Day after tomorrow. With this assurance, we remain alive. But having to wonder whether you will return or not confuses us. So please give us some consolation. Our restless hearts are truly hankering to see your moonlight face. And then they have so many verses of feeling separation. But the thing is, in Divyan Mad, Radhika feels Krishna's presence in the separation. And then in Prem by Chitya, which comes in Madan Agyabhav, she's feeling Krishna's absence within presence. And the highest presence in absence and absence in presence is in her Madanakya Mahabhav, in meeting. That's the highest thing. That's why this is chapter 8. This is the last verse I'll read, and then I'll just read the time of day of Radha and Krishna. O Vedanta, you know what Vedanta is? Brahma, destiny. You are the one who arranges everything, but there's not even a trace of mercy in your heart. First, unite living entities in this world in friendship and love, but before they can fulfill their desires and hopes, you pointlessly separate them while they are still unsatisfied. The truth is that, like the play of a child, this whimsical behavior of yours is completely useless. Just like she said that Brahma, the gopis said that Brahma is a fool. Why is Brahma a fool? Everybody knows.
Because he gave them eyelids?
Yes, because he gave them eyelids. So we have to blink. When Krishna is right in front of us, we blink, and the time of blinking is like a yuga. So if we were you, if you were in our place, and we were in your place, what would we do? What would we do? We'd give you thousands of eyes that never blink, that don't have eyelids. All these are in the purports of Srila Gurudev in Venugit and Gopigit. So I'm just going to read now and close the class with what else the 8 chapters relate to are the 8 times of day of the 24-hour pastimes, Asta 8 Kaliya times, Lila pastimes, 8 times pastimes. So this is chapter 7, so it's the 7th part. Okay. So I remember Sri Radha at dusk, her dear Sakis dressing her in white garments or dark in accordance with the lunar fortnight. Accompanied by her messengers, she leaves for her Abhisar, her rendezvous with Krishna, in a Vrindavan Kunj, as per Vrinda Devi's indication. Vrinda is like the orchestrator of what's happening. Orchestrator, what deer come out, what flowers come out. And she also, in person, arranges their meetings. So just you two will meet here at this time. I also remember Krishna at this time, sitting in the assembly of gopas, being entertained by their cleverness in various games. His doting mother, doting, like over affectionate, takes him from there to his bedchamber, and from there he proceeds to the solitary kunj to meet Srimati Radhika. And in the Bhajan Rahasya Vritti, and it's a commentary by Srila Gurudev, in accordance with the Vrinda Devi's indication, Srimati Radhika goes to the Kali Kunj, means play kunj, on the bank of the Jamuna for her Abhisar, bringing a few faithful maidservants or some Priyanam Sakis with her. What was that called? Priyanam Sakis, they're like Lalita Vishaka, or she might bring a few mantris like Rati Mantri. These most beloved Sakis dress her in black cloth in dark nights and in white or moonlight on moonlight nights. And then they very carefully and blissfully, so that she would disappear. They even put camphor, which is white, on her face to camouflage her. White jewelry, pearls, diamonds. And then they very carefully and blissfully take her for Abhisar. At that time, Sri Krishna is watching a charming performance of music, singing, magical tricks, drama, and other arts in the assembly of the cowherds. Later he hears Yasoda sing him a lullaby, and he feigns sleep. He does that a lot. Then, to get Kishori's association, Kishori means young teenage Radha. He slips away from the royal palace and proceeds alone to the Kunj, where they will meet. The qualified sadhak, that is the jati bhav sadhak, those who've already attained bhav, while performing Harinam Kirtan, here's the whole thing, it's all in the Kirtan, will lovingly remember these pastimes of the seventh yam. Yam means the time of day. Go Preman indeed. Any questions or comments?
You're talking about this.
Loud or take the mic. When will we be qualified sadhaks?
Well, you're talking about just now about this Bhav Sabalya, which first they were in a humble way, they're expressing themselves, and then I think he said a towering wave of maybe envy will come, and then others of that mood, then they'll be speaking the same thing but in a complete different meaning. Does that take place? This is taking place during separation. When a meeting takes place, is the same thing happening?
I'm not following.
When, like, in separation, first they're humble and they bring in that separation. But when they're meeting, because at the same time you were saying that, if I'm understood right, you're saying that this Divya Mad is the meeting when separation is happening, isn't it? It's just something for me to. And then Primbhajitya is a separation when they're meeting, and then the highest is when they are meeting, and both of these are taking place. Is that right? You said?
Both of what is it? Meeting and separation and meeting.
Yeah,
and meeting and meeting.
Meeting
And separation and separation.
Yes. So when they're meeting, are those waves of paths that clash with each other, is that also taking place?
Let me try to remember. Nothing comes to me right now, but let's try to remember some pastimes of Radhika being jealous, and then Krishna pacifies her, but they're kind of happening one after another. Let me check.
Okay.
Let me check with Madhu Maharaj if you remind me.
One thing you're saying also, like like in the Venugit, they have not met Krishna, but they're speaking like that, like they want to. And you said there's some envies there. Is that the same thing? Is that a clash?
They've met Krishna. They've done everything, but they're always in Purvarag.
Okay.
No matter what, like every night, if Radharani sees Krishna, then she thinks, who is this? What is this sapphire mountain or blackish blue cloud? I've never seen him before. So then Lalita would say, what do you mean you haven't seen him before? You just spent the night with him. Don't try to distress my mind. I have never seen him before.
So this is always there. It's part of who they are, this clash.
Part of who they are. Nitya, Nava, Nabhaya, Mana. Always ever fresh. And always never new.
And last question, when this, I was reading, Vasanta sent me something about separation, separation, meeting being higher than separation, and Gurudev giving very much praman about that. Is it because, no wait, because you explained about Divya Mad and Prem Vaitya, and the same thing is taking place when they're meeting, but that is the highest thing you said. Is it because they're meeting?
What?
Like Divya Mad, what takes place in Divya Mad?
Well, because when you said Divya Mad, it's also separation and separation.
Separation and separation
And
as
also,
well.
like when Radharani is in Gita Govinda, she's feeling separation in this painting, Radha alone. Krishna was supposed to meet with me, he didn't come. It's my Saki's fault. They made me go into this dangerous dark forest. And I'm just sitting here and Krishna hasn't come. What's the use of my dress? What's the use of my ornaments? My garland, my soft garland has now become like an arrow shaft, piercing my heart, because Krishna's not here to enjoy what I have. What's the use of my beauty? He's probably engaged with some other Saki right now. And she's probably doing this with him, and he's probably doing that with her. So as she's speaking about that imaginative gopi, she's experiencing that in her own body of Krishna and her being together.
When Krishna's not there.
But he's came late.
Yeah. I mean, there Krishna's not there. She's experiencing that.
Right.
When he actually comes at some point, she
Yeah, he comes at some point.
She does not
Yes,
seem very,
he-
very pleased.
She doesn't, but that's because she's playing hard to get. Because just like we have to become more eager, we have to become so eager that we're weeping and rolling and grieving and really feel like I'm going to die in the next minute if I don't get it. That's really eager. It's called lobe. Lalasamai. Loyam lalasamai. So, like right now I don't have much eagerness. I'm eager for Radha Dasyam, and I'm eager for so many other things at the same time. I forgot what my point was. Your question was, oh right, so this is meeting in separation.
Yeah.
And
That is meeting separation, and then and brings it over, there is separation in meeting. And then when those two are taking place, when they're actually meeting, you said before, that's the highest thing. And my question is that because they're meeting, and meeting is the highest thing?
Meeting
It's just
is
because
the
they're
highest.
meeting that makes it the highest.
meeting is the highest, but why do people say that separation is higher than meeting? Only in the sense that, if from that separation, the meeting will be better. Like even with Mother Yasoda, she's meeting, and then, don't come in my lap, you're just like a monkey, you play with monkeys, you're as dirty as monkeys, I'm not going to give you my milk. And so then Krishna creates a situation where he gets taken up into the sky by Trinavarta or Sakatasura, and then there's that feeling of like what if something happens, and so then she'll take Krishna and caress him. So that's meeting. Separation is higher only when it nourishes meeting, because meeting is the main thing. There's only a few people who want Radha and Krishna to be separated. Did you read that lecture?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Kamsa.
Kamsa wants them to be separated.
Yeah.
Who else?
I don't know.
Chandravali.
Chandravali. Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't want it. But sometimes Krishna creates it
Yes.
in order to increase the eagerness.
Yes.
That's why he left them in the Rasa Lila. He told them that. You think I'm ungrateful, you think I left you? But I was really in a kunj following you, and I was just watching your every speech, every action, every mood. But I did that to create your eagerness and also to broadcast your glory as the greatest lovers in separation and in meeting. But regarding your questions about Bab Sabalya, I'll ask Maharaj if you remind me. Any other questions? Any last question? Nothing? I'm surprised.
I'm just kind of wrapping in my head right now. So meeting is the highest, right? But the separation within the meeting, for the fear of separation of the meeting is what makes it.
It nourishes
It nourishes.
meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
As this sadhaka that has come to Rati, like it's been the sadhaka that has come to Rati, like these prayers, is that sadhaka that Jatarati sadhaka. He's praying that kind of separation. When has he met to?
He's praying what?
He's praying in separation.
Who?
By that this sadhaka that's been described in Bhajan Rahasya.
No, it's all the gopis.
I mean, but that's his bhajan. He's meditating
Oh, he's
in
remembering.
that. Yeah, sorry, he's meditating in that. That separation is coming from him having a direct experience of Krishna, no?
So, first, as one is advancing, nistha, ruchi, touching asakti, you get a touch of meeting. And then the desire increases, because you got that touch. Then you get a bigger touch, Gurudev explained. And then you have more separation. And then a bigger touch from that more separation. A meeting, and then more. So the gopis have so much touch of the meeting, especially in a Jatarati Bhav sadhak, like Raghunath Das Goswami, because he has 3 stages of consciousness, internal, Bhav, and external. Once he goes into internal, he's just forgetting completely Raghunath Das Goswami. He's absorbed. I am Rati Manjari. I'm putting the red lac on Radharani. I'm pushing Krishna away because he's not doing the job good. So Radharani tells me to do it. So I nudge him to get out of the way. She's absorbed in that. And that's why when she comes out of that, when that disappears, she goes mad, rolling on the floor. Where did it go? When am I going to have that service?
So the touch of meeting is him going deep into that bhajan, that what you're saying, the touch of meeting for him, deep into that kind of
Happens when you
consciousness.
dip.
Yeah.
Dip deep.
Yeah, okay. And for someone like no stage like me, how do you cultivate, am I supposed to cultivate anything like, because I try to learn the verses, but they don't, like, okay, maybe I can try to learn the word for word meaning,
English.
but it doesn't stay with me because I feel like I appreciate it in a very minor way. How am I meant to even go there? To these
What did
type
your
of-
Gurudev tell you?
Yeah.
He told you you better go there.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah.
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 Because you have to have a goal, otherwise you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't make the first left or right turn of your car when you get out of your house. But it's just the first turn, but at least you know where you're going. And you know what you're after, you know what you want, you know what you're sorry that you didn't get. And then you're sorry that you're not sorry that you didn't get it. He wants all of his kids to become manjaris. and you made it well known. Okay, go Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gopi, Kanchi Kopatrivishja, Vipasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. And, oh God, something good came and slipped. Oh. Hmm. Okay, so you're what are you both doing today?